Hello and welcome to Rise and Shine, your weekend breakfast companion. I'm Shahan Ramkisoon, filling in for Priya Shweta today.
And I'm Rain Pryor. We're braving the bitter cold here in New York City. Yes, we are. But we've got hot topics and sumptuous beverages that will warm us up enough to kickstart the weekend and get me speaking correctly.
Well, we'll try. Now, coming up on today's show, we'll get the inside track on award-winning photographer Rick Smolin's latest project and hear how his trek across the Australian outback became a life-changing journey. Plus, Brooklyn's own Andrea Delzell wheeled her way to victory when she was named Miss Wheelchair NYC for 2015. She's here, yes, she's here to tell us about the competition and her exciting quest for the national title.
Smoldering superstar Terrence Howard, oh, he's so hot, visited the Arise studios recently to discuss his hot new TV drama Empire. We have that interview for you later on. And it's a new year, but it is time for a new you.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Life skills expert Tia Brown will give us some of the tools we need to meet life's challenges and goals for the ultimate success in 2015. We need that.
That totally sounds like a great show. I can't wait. Now, first, let's head over to Francesca Maxime for the first look at the headlines.
I was going to say, it makes it great to be here with you all today.
Yeah, we love
We're glad to have you.
Well, all right, we're going to start in France today. Parisians there, of course, waking up this morning to face the aftermath of dual sieges, which resulted in the heavy loss of life over 3 consecutive days. Security was stepped up around Paris as authorities continue to sift through the violent end to the simultaneous standoffs northeast of Paris that have left nearly 20 people dead. 2 of the gunmen who attacked the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo were killed in a raid following a 3-day manhunt. One more person, 26-year-old Hayal Boumediene, remains on the run. Meanwhile, on the other side of Paris, a siege and a hostage crisis in a Jewish deli leaves 4 civilians dead there. President Obama taking a moment before an event yesterday to express American support for France.
And I think it's important for us to understand, France is our oldest ally. I want the people of France to know that the United States stands with you today, stands with you tomorrow. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families who've been directly impacted. We grieve with you. We fight alongside you to uphold our values, the values that we share, universal values that bind us together as friends and as allies.
All right, taking a look at some other headlines now. In South Korea, a fire breaking out at an apartment building on the outskirts of Seoul, killing 4 people and injuring over 100 more. The fire started around 9:30 a.m. local time from the parking lot on the ground floor. Those flames fueled by burning cars, blocking the main entrance, trapping residents inside. The blaze spread to 2 other adjacent buildings before it was brought under control after a few hours. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, recovery crews lifted the tail of the crashed AirAsia flight from the sea as the search continues for the crucial black boxes. Julino Che has more.
Recovery crews off the coast of Indonesia pulled the tail from crashed AirAsia Flight 8501 from the sea on Saturday. In an operation that took almost 2 hours, the crew fastened a balloon to the wreckage on the bottom of the sea and then floated it up to the surface. It's now en route to a military base. Meanwhile, divers continue scouring the seabed for the cockpit voice and flight data recorders, which could give more clues as to why the plane crashed. 162 people were killed when the plane went down on December 28th. Crews say they believe the black boxes are likely located about 1 kilometer from where the tail wreckage was found.
And back here in the United States now, where a judge sentenced radical Imam Abu Hamza al-Masri to life in prison following federal terrorism charges. Nathan Frandino has more on that.
Life in prison for Abu Hamza al-Masri. A U.S. District Court judge sentenced the radical London imam in New York on Friday. Hamza was convicted in May on terrorism-related charges, including his role in the 1998 kidnapping of Western tourists in Yemen that left 4 hostages dead. Hamza has maintained his innocence. His attorney, Sam Schmidt, urged a shorter sentence.
And I think that there should have been a sentence of a number of years to allow him, whether it's in his 70s or his 80s, if he survives that long in the Bureau of Prisons, to spend some time with his family.
Hamza gained notoriety for his fiery sermons in London. U.S. and U.K. officials said he inspired a generation of militants. He was also convicted of sending 2 followers to Oregon to start a militant training camp. At his sentencing, the judge cited his speeches in which he justified killing non-Muslims and praised the September 11th attacks.
Well, some lighter news now. Up, up, and away. That is what engineers for SpaceX said earlier today as they launched their Falcon 9 rocket right up into the International Space Station. The rocket is carrying a cargo ship as part of SpaceX's resupply missions for NASA. For the company, though, this mission is also an experiment. They intend to use the rocket's discarded booster to relight some of its engines. And by doing this, they hope that they'll be able to land it on a platform instead of letting it just crash into the ocean. Now, if this works, the test will actually mark a significant step in the quest to develop rockets that can then be reused. We like recycling and reusing, right?
Especially in space.
You know?
We don't want to clutter space.
All that space junk.
Right?
Who needs it? You know,
Who needs
like
it?
ocean
Exactly.
junk,
Recycle.
space junk. Not so
Now,
much.
Francesca, before you go, I know you've got a little something up your
Yeah.
sleeve. You have a rap
I'm not
about
wearing
your
any sleeves.
name,
What are you
right?
talking about?
Yeah,
she
break
has
it
a rap.
down. Break it down.
You got to do it for us.
Here we go.
You want me to? Really?
Right?
My name's
Get it, girl. Get it.
Francesca Maxime, never had the surgery, nip tuck, not for me. What you see is real, poetic, energetic. Every word I wrote, I meant it so perfect. My rhyme's gonna make you asthmatic. Wheezing like we pop, Brooklyn girls, I got you. See, I can't.
I want to be a fly girl right
Listen,
behind
I'm telling you, now that's Jayla's job. She knows how to do the Roger Rabbit better than me. But
You're great. I mean,
It's all-
I draw inspiration from her.
I know, right? How could you
Singing
not?
that
listen,
song.
I'm telling you, you got the Brooklyn. You can't take the Brooklyn out of the girl.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, so Brooklyn girl.
Great. Well, we'll talk to you later. Now, thanks for filling in for me today as well.
You need the little
And as you
entertainment.
saw someone breaking it down, Jonathan.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it
Good
going?
morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
I see
great
a little
stuff.
glow.
There is a little glow.
Well, she's
In all the
glowing
right
for a
places.
reason, and
Right.
without sounding sexual.
Yes.
You seem very perky today.
I am very perky, and that's because, not what you're thinking, although that's probably a part of it too.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Break it down. I'm excited because tonight is my movie that I did, my documentary, That Daughter's Crazy, is actually premiering as part of the Best of at the African American Diaspora International Film Festival.
Wow.
Amazing.
Why is it called That
Yeah.
Daughter's Crazy?
Well, it
You're
was
cray-cray?
actually, I am crazy.
She is cray-cray.
You guys know me.
She is
Come on.
cray-cray.
It's actually based on my dad's album, That N-Word is Crazy, because you know. Yeah, so that was one of it.
Okay.
So I just did a play on words there.
Nice. Okay, so I'm hoping you have a clip for us.
I do have a clip,
Please show it
apparently,
to us.
yes. So let's go take a look at it, shall we? Daddy! Daddy!
Look, Richard, it's Rain. Do you want to hold her? No, baby. I may drop her.
It's just my story of this specific era and growing up being a black Jewish girl that didn't fit in.
Now, my bubby, which is my grandmother on my maternal side, the first time she ever saw me, she took one look at me and said, "My, she's black as a berry, black as a berry."
Show business is a heartbreaker. If it doesn't work, it's, you know, it's not good.
I had an agent. I was going out on these auditions, but they wanted me to be my dad. They wanted me to be this stand-up, and it's funny, and you're Richard Pryor's daughter, and blah, 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 and you're gonna make it. And I said, I created a solo show, and they said, you're stupid.
You got some Caucasian in you, but some black. No, some woo 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 woo. Oh, you were Jewish soul sister. Well, how about that, how about that, how about that?
Today, I have this beautiful child with her gold skin and her big gold hair that has to know that she's okay in the world as she is.
She's adorable.
That
Right?
was amazing.
Thank you.
So how did this movie come about?
Well, I was doing a solo show here off Broadway that ran for a year and was also picked as a New York Times pick and raved by the New York Times, which you can't even, like, people want that kind of review.
Exactly.
And so the documentary filmmakers came, saw it, and said, let's do a film based on the show, because we know so much about your dad, but we don't know about you or your life. And so I was like, all right, well, let's see.
That's
what
cool,
happens.
yeah. Now, in that clip, we saw your grandmother and
Yes.
your daughter. Have they
Yes.
seen the documentary yet?
My daughter has, and she's like, that's me, because it's all about her, And then my grandmother, of course, she's seen it, and my mother is also in the documentary.
Yeah.
And I think it's really profound to see one, in this climate, in this racial climate that we have, two white Jewish women talking about race and culture as it pertains even to raising a mixed race child, a black child. And that's what I love about the film, is that you get to see a side of racial equality and racial justice sort of played out.
That's
and I kind
great.
of dig
Now,
that.
what do you think people will take away from watching this?
I think and I hope that they will take a sense of themselves, how they think in the world about race and each other, because we're in that era, and what we put on other people. It was a struggle for me in Hollywood. I mean, that's why I love being here, to tell you the truth on a rise, because I get to be 100% who I am.
Right.
No one's like, change your hair, girl, lighten your skin, lose some weight, let it, man. I get to be Rain, and that's a blessing.
Yeah. Now, we'll definitely be there tonight.
You guys better be there, because you know.
With bells on.
Wait, you gotta work though, right?
I do, but look, it's a spirit. Why you guys call me out?
Because I didn't want to get excited that you're gonna be there, and I know you've been working somewhere.
I really tried, but I'm gonna be there in spirit for sure.
I'll take a video. I know it's
Please
illegal,
do.
but I'll take a
No,
video.
please do. Please do.
No, I have
Can
one
we
in my
still get
bag. I'll give you
tickets?
one. Yes, you can get tickets at nyadiff.org. And seats are going fast. We're almost sold out. So get them.
Great.
Yeah. So coming up next, photographer Rick Smolin's latest project, Inside Tracks, captures the amazing story of one woman's 1,700-mile trek, through the Australian outback. He shares his incredible images. So next, stay tuned. You're watching Arise and Shine. Incredible.